Hello, Introduction to Music Production class. My name is Ron Alexander. I'm an electrical engineer and I work in Dallas, Texas, USA. Today I'd like to talk to you about recording an acoustic instrument, in particular an alto sax. This sax is a Selmer Mark VI. It's silver plated, which means it has a very mellow sound due to the silver plating. This is in comparison to a standard saxophone that is lacquered or gold. This particular saxophone I've used with a Runyon mouthpiece, and this Runyon mouthpiece has an internal plastic reed that vibrates sympathetically with a cane reed mounted on the outside of the mouthpiece. Now this adds quite an edge to the sound, more harmonics, a brighter sound. So when you mix that in with the mellow sound of the silver plating, you get quite a nice saxophone sound. So where does the sound from the saxophone come from? Well, there's four places I've identified: A, B, C, and D. A is in the mouthpiece area, and so some of the sound is coming from A. Some of the sounds are coming from the keys around this area called, I've indicated as B, and also the key areas indicated on the lower keys as D. The bell of the saxophone is here at the end of the horn, and that's area C. So where's the best place to put this microphone? I've only got one microphone, so where should I put it? A, B, C, or D? Let's find out. If we go to the AKG C1000S microphone user's guide, there's a section on using the microphone. And figure 10, as you can see here, is a microphone placement for the saxophone. So if you like, as they indicate here, if you like the noise the sax keys make, then you would point the mic up into the area above the bell in the middle of the horn. However, if you don't want to hear the key noise in your recording, which is my preference, then you would direct the microphone towards the outer rim of the bell. And make sure you point the microphone at the outer rim and not at the center of the bell, where you may pick up too much wind noise. The optimum working distance between the bell of the saxophone and the microphone is about 8 to 12 inches, my preference being closer to 8 inches. This is the recording microphone that I've chosen to use. It's the AKG C1000S. It's a condenser microphone. This particular microphone is ready for a battery. In other words, we can use a 9-volt battery for the bias voltage without having to use phantom power. But normally we use 48-volt phantom power from the audio interface to power a microphone. And this particular microphone has two polar patterns that you can use. One is a cardioid pattern, and the other is a hypercardioid pattern. It has an on-off switch, and it uses a balanced XLR cable. Plugs in right here. This also provides the 48-volt phantom power from our audio interface, as you will see later. Here we have frequency response and polar diagrams for this microphone. As you can see, the frequency response is fairly flat in both configurations, that being the cardioid or the hypercardioid. However, the polar patterns are quite different. The cardioid pattern is picks up sound from a wider angle, from 120 degrees both directions, whereas the hypercardioid has a much narrower range of pickup pattern. So I chose to use the cardioid pattern for this microphone based on the fact that the sound emanates from the saxophone in those 4 different areas, A, B, C, and D. Now we've got to set the mic preamp gain to increase the low level of the mic output to a higher level that's compatible with the A to D converter that we're using inside of our audio interface here. So basically I've annotated this by steps 1 through 8. So let's walk through these steps. First step is we turn the phantom power off. Second step is we turn the input gain control to off or minimum by turning it all the way left or counterclockwise. We do this to ensure that we don't get pops and clicks when we plug in our microphone. These pops and clicks could damage our speakers or other parts of our equipment. Now the third thing we want to think about or make sure about is that we're plugged in our USB interface from the audio card or box is plugged into the PC, so that we're connected through the USB interface and that the unit is powered up correctly. Next thing we do is step 4, we plug in the microphone. It's an XLR 3-prong balance input AKG C1000S. Plug it right in here. And so now that we've got our mic plugged in, we can turn on our phantom power without worrying about pops and clicks. Sixth thing we do in this setup process is we play the sax into the mic while adjusting the gain here, microphone gain, the mic preamp input gain, while checking the level meter output. Right here I've annotated as step 8. Now this is pointing to channel 1, and I'm inputting into channel 1L here, as you can see. We want these bars to be up as high as we can without distorting. And basically we're shooting for about a 75%. We want the max to be around 75-80%, something like that, so that we ensure that we do not distort, and we also ensure that we get well above the noise floor and into the sweet spot of the A to D converter. And having done that, it's time for us to record using our DAW. And then I'm using SONAR X2 DAW, sample rate 44.1 kilohertz, 24-bit depth, and I've recorded Feliz Navidad, which with it using this setup as I've described here. You can hear it in the background. That's the background music that you've been listening to. So let's take a listen to how well this recording worked out. Well, I think you can hear that the saxophones are fairly well recorded. The mellowness of the silver plating is apparent, as well as the nice edge from the Runyon mouthpiece, and the mic placement appears to be done very nicely. So from that standpoint, this recording is a success. So I want to thank everyone for your time and attention and your thoughtful critique.